All right, I'm going to have a go at the Guardian's weekly Quiptic crossword, usually easier than the daily. It's set this week by Hectance. All right, let's see what Hectance says. One across. Unpleasant film about posh college boys surrender. Well, having something about something else makes me think it's wordplay at the start, and therefore the definition will be surrender. Now, unpleasant film we've seen before is a reference to scum, and I'm immediately thinking that the letters of scum are in succumb. But let's see if I can work out the wordplay. So here's the SCUM. It goes about posh. Okay, we've seen before U can mean posh. And I think C is simply college. And then the last B must simply be boys. I'm not sure what the excuse for using B as an abbreviation for boys is, but I'm sure it's fine. So, okay, let's try getting the downs from those starters. Supporters, on course, upset, over man in rage. Well, here I'm thinking something upset over something else might mean the definition is supporters, which doesn't have to be people who support you. It might be beams or scaffold or something like that. But on course has to be upset or anagrammed over. Oh, man in rage maybe is an anagram of man. But then, no, if supporters is the definition, this probably ends in S. Now, let's go on. Exclusive groups intelligence collected in evidence. Well, an exclusive group beginning with C could be a clique. I know some people say clique, but I can never bring myself to say that. I always say clique. There's IQ, must be intelligence, and then evidence in a detective story especially would be a clue. All right. Hunk endlessly, showing offs, ignoring the spirit of the game. Well, hunk endlessly sounds like wordplay. Something. Oh, yeah, I wonder if hunk endlessly means take the outer letters, the two ends of the word off, and so this is going to begin with UN. And so then I can see how ignoring the spirit of the game might be a word beginning with un, like unsportingly or something like that. Oh, wow, what else would you call it? Oh, maybe just unsporting? Yeah, I think so. So showing off then would be sporting. Yeah, so if you're sporting a new hat or something, you're showing it off. All right, business breaks embargo to get cured meat. I think it's going to be some kind of cured meat. And the first one that comes to mind is bacon. So I can see that the business is a company, CO, which breaks or goes in the middle of the word ban, meaning embargo. All right, let's go back to the acrosses. Consolidate agreement. This would seem to be a double definition, so it's a word that means both consolidate and agreement. not coming to me. Gets out by cutting loose ties. Well, loose seems like an anagram. That's only if it's an anagram of ties, just 4 letters, so we need something else cutting it. Oh yeah, and by. This one has tripped me up before. It's such a harmless little word. But if you think of when you first learned your multiplication tables, 5 times 4 or 5 by 4 is represented by an X. So exits is gets out. Went quiet when thrashed in competition. Ooh, I'm thinking of for went quiet, clammed up. Oh, and I can see around the outside we have a cup, which could be a competition, just like the FA Cup. That means lambed is thrashed. I think lambed might be a word for punched or beat somebody. You thrashed them, you lambed them. Is that it? I'll leave it in for now. Let's try our doctor honored fee reduced for time of crisis. I think time of crisis will be the definition. Is the middle word going to be of? Could be on, I suppose. What's the first word? That U is in an unusual position. Doctor might simply be DR. Honored fee reduced. Time of crisis. Drum, drug, drub. No, not seeing it. Time of crisis. Crux of something. No. Nope, not seeing it. All right, let's go back to the downs. Prepared clean home for reptile. I presume it's going to be a reptile. It could be prepared, readied. Prepared, clean. Might be a charade, those 3 words. Home can be in. So is there a reptile that ends with IN? Ooh, back in my mind there's some kind of lizard or something. No, not seeing it. Note setter's method. Ooh, well, I'm thinking the setter, Hectance, might be referring to him or herself as me. And a note could be any of the do, re, mi, fa, so, la, ti. I'm wondering if it's me, meme as a method. Ooh, that's a tricky one. If that is an M, then I'm thinking consolidate could be combine, which definitely means consolidate, but doesn't mean agreement. We sometimes see agreement for coinciding, but not here. I mean, 7 down would begin with an I. making sense of a complicated pudding. Oh, I think complicated is telling us to anagram pudding, which has 7 letters. But if we start with an A, so it's not combined, but then we get, it's a pretty simple anagram adding up. If things add up, they make sense. All right. So consolidate. No, not seeing it. Old American tattooist on radio. So it's a homophone indicator. And it's one of those with the intrusive R sound that you have to apply for the homophone. Somebody who does tattoos might be called an inker, which I suppose in some accents sounds like Inca. I will file my normal objection to that, but we'll move on. All right. Nothing wrong with high targets. Ooh. Nothing wrong with high targets. Top marks, maybe? Yes, if you have nothing wrong in an exam, you get top marks. And a mark can be a target, so the top ones are the high ones. All right, so now if something is consolidated, I suppose it's compacted, or you compact it by consolidating it, and a compact is an agreement. So I think this must be, now you can spell, I think, the note M-I or M-E, but I think meme as being a method, I think that might be the original meaning of the name or the word before it became just something funny on the internet. I don't think mime would be method. Anyway, so now our prepared clean home for, could it be chameleon? Oh, yeah, it's an anagram of clean home, so you prepare that and you get the chameleon. Oh, of course, a time of crisis now, I see. It's funny how just that extra E gave me hour of need. Let's see. Doctor honored, fee reduced. Oh, so doctor is an anagram indicator, and it's an anagram of honored fee, but I think without the final E. And so we end up with 2 O's, a U, and the E there, and one of the E's in fee. All right, that is good. So now, supporters on course upset over man. Oh, I wonder if it could be seethe. If you rage, you seethe. Ah, yes. And I should have remembered this one. We've seen it before. Supporters on a course means on a golf course, so golf tees, and they are upset or turned backwards over he, who is a man. All right. Well, that's the top part. Let's just try and get 14. List each time scraps put on dumper lorry. All right, I think it's going to be some kind of truck. List could be, to lean. each time. Oh, I think a scrap might be a ruck. Now, of course, there's the ruck in rugby, but I think more generally it can be a fight. I don't know if it's related to the word ruckus, but I think that's the thing. And then I think that T is time. So list each. Each can be EA. What's a dumper lorry? A Tonka truck? No. Tipper? Oh, yeah, I think it might be a tipper truck. And I'm thinking per is each. Then is, oh yeah, if something is tipping over, it's leaning or listing. I think that's right. Although, if I did hear the phrase tipper truck, it was over 30 years ago, but it does sound vaguely familiar. All right. Outstanding, however, victories overshadowed by own goal. Maybe the definition is own goal, but I can certainly see that OG would be possibly useful in wordplay. Outstanding, is that the definition? What's a two-word phrase for outstanding? Victory would be V, I think. Overshadowed by own. Oh, maybe it's goal is the definition. No, not seeing it. Let's go back to the acrosses. Planned camping by lake on Scottish island. Ooh, I don't know if it's going to be a Scottish island in 11 letters or planned. Camping could be intense or intent. Intentional, maybe? Could be planned. Yeah, I can see we're by lake. Oh, there is the Scottish island is Iona. The lake is L, which is on the Scottish island, and before that we have intent. All right. Break into computer of poor journalist. I think that's just a double definition, a hack or two hack. X-axis ranges big when detailed. Ooh. Yeah. The letters are so funny in X-axis ranges big. But yeah, I can't see those being anagrammed in any way. I do wonder if it's a sort of double definition where detailed is the straight definition, but it's something about if your x-axis has a big range, it's something, I don't know if there's a mathematical word for that. Widespread, long something. No. Delighted by cockapoo running around hotel. This is a very, once you realize we're going to anagram cockapoo, in other words, it's going to be running around H for hotel. And so long as you know this phrase for delighted, this is one of the easiest anagrams you're ever going to see. Cock-a-hoop. I have no idea of the origin of that phrase, and maybe I don't want to know. All right, let's try some downs. Oh yeah, we looked at that. How about roux, heartily tucked into poisson, potentially toxic? Well, toxic, and looking at the letters we have, surely poisonous. Um, oh, I think roux heartily is saying take the inner letters of roux, the O and the U, which should be tucked into a potential version of poisson, in other words, an anagram, and that would give us poisonous. That's clever, the heartily. All right, thing to shift cold, a paracetamol initially, and something warm to wear in bed. I think it must be something warm to wear in bed. Oh, a nightcap would be something warm, I think. I don't think does anyone, hands up if you still wear a nightcap. So thing to shift is an anagram of thing, so we get night. Then we get cold is C, A is A, and paracetamol initially is P. All right. Stand firm with exhausted teams over race vehicle. Race vehicle came up recently, where I think controversially it was defined somehow as a car that crashes into, or a vehicle that crashes into others. And I think there were comments that, well, a stock car, you don't necessarily have to crash into others. There is stock car racing where I think it's frowned upon. Let's see. I think the firm is, I was going to say the OC backwards. Stand firm with exhausted teams. Oh, so I think over means we're going to reverse everything. Exhausted teams is the T and the S. So let's go back with ST, then the firm, and then a stand is a rack. So it is all backwards. Rack company teams. All right. Supplies backup with very naughty son. I think it must be supplies as the definition. Backup, I think maybe it's just simply the word up backwards. With very naughty, and then son, I think is going to be the final S. So very naughty is going to be R something something. What is supplies? It's not a word for naughty. It's the word very that is naughty by being anagrammed, and it's pervades. That's cheeky. I think that's a little tricky for a quiptic, but who am I to say? Wear out old horse. Wear out. I'm wondering if out can indicate an anagram. Could it be an anagram of WEAR and either be where, which seems too close. I think they might have used a homophone. Or is there a word RAWE? Let me pause and look that up. Well, I didn't find anything for RAWE, and then when I tried to search for warehouse, I got a lot of, a horse, I should say, I got a lot of war horse. So maybe it's mare. I mean, that is a horse, but I don't know how the wordplay would work. Let me go ahead and check this one. No. All right, let's try raw. No. All right, so wear out old horse. Nah, I cannot. Is there another word for an old horse? I'll move on and come back to that at the end. Drive anxious mile to secure parking. All right. So when we see something like secure parking, particularly when we have a P in the middle of the word, sounds like wordplay. We're going to put something around the P for parking. And an anxious mile could be an anagram of mile. So if you impel somebody, I suppose you drive them. All right. Yeah, let's try this. Flower acquires good height without effort. Of course, we have to be aware flower could be flower, meaning a river, but it does seem to be some word for either flower or flower that is going to acquire G for good and I think H for height, and it's going to mean without effort. I want it to be, oh, height is HT. Ah, yeah, so the flower is a lily. I was thinking, how do I put GH inside of some flower to get lightly, but of course I need the T for height. So if you do something lightly, it's without any effort. Ooh, now our x-axis ranges big when detailed. Is there another meaning for detailed? Well, there are. You can have your car detailed. I'm thinking too, is it something to do with the military? Is it like being assigned to a detail or like positioned or something? Like, could it be positioned? Don't ask me why. Well, let's try getting these other downs. Finally, where to find a shoe mender? Well, this is referring to the, I know it used to come up in old jokes about shoe menders, cobblers, and their last was their tool. So at their last is where you'll find them, finally. Dozy fish turned up on top of pond with young. I think it might be dozy is the definition. I'm thinking of sleepy, just because we have the top of pond would be a P, and I think young can be abbreviated to Y. The fish are eels, they are turned up. Oh, so it's not position, but maybe, no, it's, oh, horizontal could be the x-axis. How does the wordplay work? So I think x-axis is the definition. Ranges big when detailed. Where's the Z coming from? So it's not an anagram. Maybe it's wrong. I'm going to go ahead and check it. No, it is correct. Big when detailed. No, I'm not. Range could be something to do with mountain range, lost horizon. No, the only thing I'm thinking is that the final L might be for large. Horizon, T-A-L. When detailed. No, I do not understand that one at all, I'm afraid. Now, this was our outstanding. Oh, so the own goal. Yes. So it's outstanding, but not as in the sense of superb. It is money that is outstanding, and the own goal, OG, overshadows win is victory, not a V. And I think however is still, and so if something is outstanding, it is still owing. I will check it. That is correct. All right, brief journal that is describing concept. Brief sounds like wordplay. On the other hand, if something describes something, I think that means it could go around it. Concept, idea. What words fit here? Image, inane. That is, could be IE. Oh, maybe it is a brief journal, and that is, IE, goes around a 3-letter word for concept. But I don't know what that is. I'm going to put in image, and we'll see if that is right. It is. I think the brief journal might be a mag, which has that is describing it, i.e. around it. So we sometimes see this sort of backwards phraseology, and you just have to get used to that. Sometimes it will be backwards, like brief journal that has that is around it, and somehow a concept is an image. I suppose if you give someone a concept of something, maybe you give them an image. Not exactly sure. All right, I still have my wear out old horse. What could that be? Yeah, let me pause and sip my coffee and think about that. I think it is a jade. Now, when I tried to Google a jade horse, of course, I found a lot of horses made out of jade. But I do think it is it an old horse that is put out to pasture? And of course, if you wear out something or you feel worn out, you might be jaded. All right, so let me check all. Let's see if, oh my goodness, oh no, of course. I had it the wrong way around. I thought it was note plus setter equals method. But instead it's setter plus a method, which is your MO. So me plus mo equals a note, a memo. Oh dear. So close and yet so far. All right, let's check all, just make sure nothing else dropped. Yeah. All right, well, I thought that was tricky compared to some we've seen in the weekly Quiptic. Hope you did better than I did. Anyway, thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.